Good evening. Tonight, questions cut short. Minister Oscar Mira finally faces the press, but just as the heat turns up, he's pulled away not once, but twice. Also mounting scrutiny, Prime Minister John Briceño orders an independent review into controversial payments linked to Minister Mira's family. And no closure yet. Families in the Ramnareys case return to court, only to learn that Elmer Naz's sentencing is delayed again. Plus, flood fares rise. Homeowners say new highway drains could put their properties at risk as officials promise case-by-case fixes. From a tough end to the sugar crop season, to a moment of appreciation for fathers in uniform. This is News 5, and it starts now.
Easy, accessible, safe, yours. Digi Wallet, easy, accessible, safe, yours.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, June 18th. I am Sabrina Daly. Minister of Home Affairs Oscar Mira stepped up to the microphone on Wednesday, finally breaking his silence, but the exchange was over almost as quickly as it began. In just 10 minutes, and with reporters closing in on tough questions, officials abruptly pulled the minister away twice, cutting short any chance of a deeper explanation. Pressed on mounting concerns over procurement practices within the Ministry of Defense, where he also served as Minister of State, Mira kept his answers brief and firm. He denied any involvement, insisting he had no hand in contract decisions. Still, the quick exit and repeated deflections did little to settle the issue. Instead, they've intensified scrutiny over who is responsible, how oversight is being handled, and what, if anything, the minister knew about contracts tied to his own family. Here's News 5's Paul Lopez with that story.
I don't want to comment on any ifs, okay? So thank you so much.
Family Operation Minister, please.
Reception that the minister and the commissioner needs to move on to.
Under intense public scrutiny and amid explosive allegations, Minister Oscar Mira faced questions on a matter of national importance. But just 10 minutes into the exchange, the interview didn't just end. It was cut short twice, cutting off answers as criticism continued to mount.
Many things off the LIU program is still happening right now as we speak.
Minister,
I think
family
that
comes from humble beginnings.
Remember, we are here today for the medal ceremony, right?
Instead of staying to answer more questions, Minister Oscar Mira was swiftly ushered out to attend a reception, raising questions about what matters most at a time when people are demanding answers. And when he did respond, his answers offered little new insight, sticking closely to the same lines throughout.
Let me just make clear that I sit on no procurement committee. I had no say, I had no influence, I had no say. I was not part of those committees. It is a long process. It's a process that I have no say. I was not part of it. It is not me who make decision. I am not aware because I was not part of those. I am not part of those committees. I have nothing to do with how government pays their contractors or their suppliers. But that has nothing to do with me as a minister of state or as a minister now. As a minister or as a minister of state, I really don't have a say in the procurement. That committee, as I said before, I was not privy to be part of them. I have never been.
In just 10 minutes, Minister Mira repeated the same response more than a dozen times, sidestepping the real issue instead of addressing it head on. That leaves a pressing question for us. How could he not know that his own siblings were securing lucrative contracts and receiving large sums of taxpayer money from the very ministry he helped to oversee? When News 5 caught up with Minister of Infrastructure Development and Housing Julius Espat, we put that question directly to him. Who's responsible for knowing?
The truth is, the minister needs to be advised. That's why he has a CEO, that's why he has an FO, that's why you have an AO, Administrative Officer, Financial Officer, CEO. Everyone has a role to play. And if you are seeing something happening that you are not comfortable with, it is your responsibility to report it. Boss, we pay too much, this thing not correct, or this name is appearing too much, or this one will look bad. None of us are perfect. But we have to take our job seriously. If we are in charge of a ministry, then we have to find out. If you don't know, you ask. And if you still don't know, then you go study. You have to be able to be aware of the product that you are administering so that that product is a good one.
Minister Mira says he never bothered to look into it. While serving in the Ministry of Defense, he insisted it simply wasn't his responsibility to find out. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Today, Prime Minister John Bersenio announced plans for an independent review amid the growing concerns over the government payments linked to the family of Minister Oscar Mira. The move comes as questions continue to swirl over the hundreds of thousands of dollars paid to businesses associated with members of the Mira family. Speaking in Orange Walk Town, Bersenio told CTV3 that he will ask the financial secretary to engage the Auditor General to examine the transactions under scrutiny. He explained that the audit will determine whether proper procurement procedures were followed and whether the government received value for its spending. The Prime Minister maintained that he will not prejudge the outcome and said any next steps will be guided by the findings of the review. The controversy intensified following leaked records showing that MP Farms, owned by Brian Mira, the brother of the minister, received multiple payments totaling nearly $400,000. The payments, made through dozens of invoices below $10,000, have raised concerns about whether procurement safeguards may have been sidestepped. Additional scrutiny has also been placed on previous payments made to Jenny Mira, the sister of the minister, and reports involving Stanley Mira, the brother of minister, further fueling public concern. Defense Minister Florencio Marin Jr. has since indicated that finance officers and procurement professionals manage payment processes and confirmed that a procedural review is underway. Former Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Defense, retired Brigadier General Dario Tapia, informed News 5 that he will make himself available to the Auditor General and fully cooperate with her office. Meanwhile, Minister Mira has denied any involvement in contract awards, even as the Prime Minister moves to reconstitute the board of the Reconstruction and Development Corporation Limited amid allegations of undue influence. The controversy surrounding Minister Oscar Mira is now headed straight to the cabinet table. Minister of Infrastructure, Development and Housing Julius Espat says the issue won't be brushed aside, confirming he plans to raise tough questions about contracts awarded to Mira's siblings at Tuesday's meeting. According to Espat, once the facts are laid bare and the answers are on record, the pressure will shift to Prime Minister John Bersenio, who will ultimately have to decide what comes next.
All of these things that are happening and have happened in the past, I think should give us an opportunity to learn and to better I think that will happen next week when we sit in cabinet. It will come up. It has to come up. It can't be. You can't. Something like this can't be thrown under the rug. It has to be discussed. It has to be analyzed. It has to be looked at closely. And the Prime Minister, as the head honcho, needs to decide what is best for us. Remember, all of us are appointed by him. So we work at his bequest. But I don't know the facts. I don't know all the details. We will find out because I assume everybody is compiling the facts and he has a right to defend himself. And we have a right to voice our opinion. And at the end of the day, we hope that we can make the best decision. He's a colleague of mine. And I wish him well. I hope that he can answer the questions properly, and if it's that they're in error, then a decision has to be made. I don't know what that decision will be. Those decisions are solely the role of the Prime Minister. You're going to call the next morning, and you know you're still there, you're not there, and you either rail up or you go home.
Opposition leader Tracy Panton is ramping up the pressure on Minister Oscar Mira, calling for his immediate removal amid what she says is mounting evidence of corruption tied to his family. Pointing to dozens of payments to relatives linked to the minister, Panton argues this goes beyond mere allegations. She says Belizeans are owed clear answers and accountability from those at the very top of government.
I invite the Belizean public to join me and to join every advocate for the position I carry. Oscar Mira must go. He must resign. He must be removed from cabinet. It is a sacred duty and responsibility one holds when you take political office. And being a political officer or being elected to political leadership is not a license to enrich yourself, to enrich your family, to enrich companies that are affiliated with your family. What is even more egregious to me, and I'm angry, I am angry, and I think every citizen in this country should be angry, is that there has not been a single indication from the Prime Minister of this country, who happens to sit as the Minister of Finance. There has been not a single interview with the Financial Secretary of this country. Here we have these political appointed CEOs scrambling to try and make the case for Oscar Mira. There is no case to be made. These are not just allegations. We have proof. 44 payments in one single day to an Oscar Mira related family member. That is nepotism, and that is the heart of corruption.
Minister Oscar Mira is again rejecting the claims, insisting he played no role in awarding contracts to his siblings or in the substantial payments they received. Labor leaders are stepping into the growing controversy over government payments tied to the Mira family, pressing for answers and tighter safeguards. NTUCB President Ella Waite is urging a closer look, not to assign blame, she says, but to ensure the system is working for taxpayers. She's calling for an independent audit to verify value for money and proper procedures, while also pushing the government to close loopholes in its payment process and finally deliver on long-promised whistleblower protections.
We want to ensure that there is an audit done to just ensure that there was an agreed contract on the amounts of money to be paid, that the items are delivered, the items are up to standard. We're talking about vegetables. My understanding is of vegetables. So we want to ensure that they're up to par, up to standard, where the price is fair and comparable to the market rate. So all that information we do want to know. And of course, that would come through either an audit or willingly provide that information from the ministry. My understanding is nothing illegal was done. I'll be very fair to say my understanding is nothing illegal was done. But the process that allows for multiple payments under $10,000 to one person and one entity must be revisited to avoid the risk of avoiding legitimate accounting practices. Farmers across this country should benefit from their hard work, from what they plant. And I understand fully that there's a bidding process. However, are we doing enough to create the enabling environment for persons to bid for contracts? It's a small pie, and we must share that pie. We must do our best to ensure that many persons benefit from their hard work when it comes to these contracts. And I would hope they will take lead from the Social Security Board, because the Social Security Board has a whistleblower policy. And it's not something, I know in the public sector, obviously it will be much more difficult because we're talking about thousands of workers, but it provides some kind of security for you to do the right thing for your country.
The National Trade Union Congress of Belize recently met with Prime Minister Briceño, and it was agreed that a draft Whistleblowers Act would be shared with the union by Friday, June 26th. Up next, questions over a stalled LIU jobs program. Minister Oscar Mira says slow down, insisting the holdup is about protecting your money, not playing politics.
I want to make sure that we spend it.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
Belize is a beautiful country, our country, and as it develops using its best resources and people, it is our job to protect and to serve. We are the police. We are working in partnership with the community for a safer Belize. Are you ready for the challenge? The Belize Police Department encourages you to join our elite team of officers. This is an opportunity to serve your nation in any of several ways. Let us train you to excel as a creative professional in the preservation of life and property and public safety. Let us give you the knowledge you need to connect the dots and solve a crime. We can train you to develop the courage needed to conduct surveillance and collect information necessary to bring criminals. We will teach you to systematically track missing persons and effectively fight the war on illicit drugs. We will teach you to embrace technology in the fight against crime, study trends in crime, find crime hotspots, and do methodical research that links crime across borders. You will be empowered to improve your neighborhood, courteously reaching out to local leaders and connect with your growing diverse communities. Or if you wish, we can train you to train others. You will pass on these qualities to the next generation of officers in the classroom and in the field. It's demanding, but it's very rewarding, and it's not for everybody. We are looking for a few good men and women. We seek and accept only the best. We are the Belize Police Department, recruiting now.
To apply, you must be a Belizean between ages 18 and 27 years old, have a minimum of a high school diploma, good general health and physically fit, and no criminal conviction. Visit the nearest police station or the National Police Training Academy admissions office for an application packet. Application can also be downloaded from the Belize Police Department website.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
It's not just cigarettes. Vapes, hookahs, cigars, and other tobacco products all release harmful smoke and toxic chemicals. When you smoke or vape, that cloud doesn't just disappear. It becomes second-hand smoke and third-hand smoke that others breathe in. This smoke can cause cancers, diabetes, lung disease, and heart problems. It can kill anyone exposed to it. If you smoke or vape, step outside, far from others. We all deserve to breathe clean air.
I am a diabetic. I have an access to my medication every 3 months, and I have my analysis. And like how I am more or less an elderly, I receive my medication free. It helps us a lot. It helps us economically. It's a place that's accessible for almost every village that is registered here. And it's good because we have the elderly that we can travel with them here and there. Well, we have it here. The doctors are willingly, ready, friendly. The staff itself then, they're friendly and they attend to you readily. And we don't have to be waiting and waiting. It's a really good thing that has done. It had been always been said that NHI, but then thanks God it come to Orange Walk. I think that elderly government is a good thing that they did. They thought about people that really are in need.
Families of the Ramnerace victims walked into court today expecting long-awaited closure, but left still waiting. Former Police Corporal Elmer Na, convicted in May for the brutal murders of 3 family members and the attempted killing of a 4th in a 2022 New Year's Eve attack in Belmopan, was set to be sentenced. Instead, the court pushed that decision to tomorrow morning. Shane Williams reports.
Former Police Corporal Elmer Na walked into the Belize High Court this afternoon facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. A jury found Na guilty on May 29th for a deadly New Year's Eve 2022 shooting that wiped out 3 members of the Ramnerace family inside their Belmopan home. John, David, and Vivian Ramnerace were killed in the attack, while Yenny Alberto survived after Na also attempted to take her life. The courtroom fell silent as grief filled the room. Speaking for her family, Vashti Bilal delivered an emotional victim impact statement, painting a picture of Vivian Ramnerace's life and the devastating loss left behind. For nearly 30 minutes, she described a beloved first daughter, a devoted mother, and a public servant whose life was violently taken, leaving a family forever changed. One of the most gripping moments came when Bilal recalled a chilling memory. Her mother receiving a frantic call from Vivian on the night of the shooting, pleading for help. Quote, "We just got shot up. Come for the baby." The focus in court quickly shifted to the severity of the crime, as prosecutors laid out why they believe Elmer Na deserves life behind bars. They pointed to a series of aggravating factors: multiple victims, a brazen attack carried out inside a family home, and the trauma inflicted on a young child who witnessed the violence. Justice Nigel Pilgrim underscored those points, adding that one of the victims was a public servant and that evidence suggests the killings were carefully planned. In mitigation, defense attorney Dr. Lyndon Jones asked the court to consider Na's years of service as a police officer, his previously clean criminal record, and the possibility of rehabilitation. Na himself did not make a statement to the court, and no witnesses were called on his behalf. After hearing submissions from both sides, Justice Pilgrim said he required additional time to consider the arguments before determining an appropriate sentence. Any statement, Mr. Na? Anything to say, Mr. Na? The long-awaited sentencing has been delayed until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
With mounting concerns around a paused employment program, Minister of Home Affairs Oscar Mira is urging patience. When we caught up with him in Belmopan on Wednesday, he defended the government's approach, saying the focus is on making sure taxpayers' money is properly spent. At the same time, he noted that despite the pause, key parts of the Leadership Intervention Unit remain up and running.
The LIU program has not stopped. There are many other segments of the LIU program that is continuing and is happening right now. One segment, which was the work program, part of the work program, that was the one that is being looked after. We want to make sure that we spend the taxpayers' money right. And we want to make sure that those monies that we are investing, that we get the proper results. That's all that is happening. And the program is still on. It is still being, the intervention is still there. Many things of the LIU program is still happening right now as we speak.
If the Leadership Intervention Unit is still running, what exactly is still active? That's the question we put to Acting Director Andrew Dawson earlier this week. He says the work hasn't stopped. Far from it. Dawson is now working closely with the minister to realign the unit's goals, stressing that there's still a lot to be done in Belize's most vulnerable communities.
Where we are, I must say that LIU continues its efforts. The beautification program was one component of the LIU. We still have our vocational training with our partnership with the vocational institutions. We have our sports component. We have our community council component that has representatives from many of these communities who have several programs that they run within their smaller pockets of community. So we're at a restructuring phase. I'm in communication with the ministry, looking at what their visions are and how we can get the vision infused into the LIU so that we can continue the work, because a lot of work is out there, my brother, and we can't slack down, we can't stand down. We got to put the energy out there, we got to push the effort, and we got to do this collective.
Weeks after the employment program was put on hold, there's still no clear answer on if or when it will return. Still ahead, under fire over land deals, former Belmopan Mayor Khalid Bilal hits back, denying claims that millions went missing on his watch.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
I'm getting older and I need more medical attention, and this is perfect for me, because previous to that, I only went to the hospital if I had an emergency. I had a brother-in-law, and he was not feeling too good. And he said he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, you need to get a good checkup. And he said, but I need to work and make some money so I can address this issue. It happened that we were working by Santana, and he got worse. I had to come to New York. The next morning, Carlos, they took him to Belize. Before the day was up, he was dead. His pressure skyrocketed, and he couldn't be helped. He passed away. And that has repeated itself many times, simply because we didn't have what we have now. It's something very good for me. We've never had it before, and I see a lot of people participate. They come and they are grateful, just like myself, that this service is available.
The biggest soccer season is here. Are you ready to experience the front row from home? Experience stadium level immersion with Samsung's latest technology. Perfect for every room. Your favorite Crystal UHD and QLED smart TVs are ready for you. Now at the best price. From your 32-inch personal fan zone at just $369 to the massive 85-inch home stadium experience for only $2,579. We have the perfect upgrade for every fan. Get yours with confidence at Cellular World, the authorized distributor in Belize, and receive a 1-year warranty. Visit us today and take advantage of these promotions. Valid until June 15th. Upgrade to the front row at home. Experience with Samsung and Cellular World.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Char-Broil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
A father's love is found in the sacrifices he makes, the lessons he teaches, and the moments he shares. This Father's Day, Open Your Eyes celebrates dads, grandfathers, and father figures who help shape our lives with strength, guidance, and unconditional love. Join us on June 19th at 6:30 a.m. for a special Father's Day edition filled with heartfelt tributes, inspiring stories, and special surprises. And that's not all. Tune in for your chance to win amazing giveaways throughout the entire show. Come celebrate Dad with us this Father's Day on Open Your Eyes.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
We're ready for the road. We're ready for the road. So we're ready. We're ready.
biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Tonight, the controversy surrounding the Mira family is taking a new turn, shifting from contracts to land. Concerns are now being raised about public property on the outskirts of Belmopan, where former Mayor Khalid Bilal says several parcels appear to be in the hands of relatives of area Representative Oscar Mira. The area was once earmarked for industrial development, but Bilal says the pattern raises questions and deserves a closer look. While he stops short of alleging wrongdoing, he's calling on government to be transparent about how these lands were acquired.
I have seen reports, of course, that several direct family members of our area rep, including himself, have come into possession of lands in what was originally designated as an industrial zone. I believe, if my memory serves me right, it was a little over 31-acre parcels in the very extreme east of the city. Actually, the land borders the Belmopan city boundary, near to the new Belmopan cemetery. We've been told that there is no longer any land in Belmopan for distribution. I see people complaining on social media all the time about that. So if that is the case, then, you know, I suppose the wider public has a right to have expected that others would have been maybe put in the queue ahead of maybe the minister's direct circle or very close in a circle, no? And I commend the efforts of the leader of the opposition, my party leader, the Honorable Tracy Tega-Panton, to seek out this information via Freedom of Information Act requests. And so we look forward to seeing what the full story is. I'm not going to rush in to pass judgment. I would only go as far as kind of piggybacking on what the current CEO in the Ministry of Defense said, and kind of paraphrasing him here. The optics of it is not exactly where you would want it to be.
Tonight, the man raising questions about land deals is now answering some of his own. Former Belmopan Mayor Khalid Bilal is pushing back against claims that millions were lost under his administration after an audit flagged city land sales below market value. Current Mayor Pablo Kawich points to those findings as cause for concern, but Bilal argues the numbers miss the bigger picture, saying the valuations ignore the city's role in driving development and expanding access to land. He insists the so-called losses are based more on assumptions than evidence of wrongdoing.
The audit reports that they commissioned came back with findings of land and assets being distributed and disposed of by the council during my administration at quote-unquote undervalued prices. Well, my question is, by what metric? Are we applying private market valuation and pricing to what is a public body or administration? I can share with you, for the benefit of viewers who wouldn't know, our quasi-government body, sister body here in Belmopan, Recondev, distributed 2,000 lots in the J&W subdivision for $7,000, $9,000, and $13,000. When it was that we came upon the remarkable gift of getting back 100 acres of land from the University of Belize, and we started what is now the Novabel project. After reaching out to the utility companies and the road construction companies and the surveyors, of course, we determined that we would be able to offer parcels of land in that subdivision for roughly $20,000. And so it is not that we were always strictly adhering or to what were prevailing private market prices at the time. And so, Shane, you can see quite easily how, in retrospect, if you're going to go back and say that you sold a parcel of land for $50,000, but we believe that it was actually worth $200,000, a difference of 150 or 300%, you can easily start racking up some huge numbers in terms of quote-unquote potential losses, as I noticed the finance director referred to them.
Bilal says these allegations have been thrown at him for years and concedes he should have been more forthright in responding and explaining the decisions behind the land transactions. A planned opposition press conference in San Pedro promising explosive findings from the town council's audit report never materialized on Wednesday after party officials abruptly called off the event. The cancellation has drawn criticism from Mayor Wally Nunez, who says the opposition misrepresented the documents they were preparing to discuss. According to Nunez, the figures being circulated are not from an audit at all, but from a budget prospectus outlining proposed expenditures. He argues that the opposition either misunderstood the document or deliberately distorted its contents to score political points.
It is quite disappointing to see that the opponent probably don't know the arm from the elbow. When you see these things, what they had posted is a prospectus. It is not the financial audit. I know that they have been trying very hard. They have been trying very hard to try to pin something on me personally. If you realize, they have highlighted there the office of the mayor, and they are trying to point out certain things that are not factual. When you see the allowances that they're talking about, they're trying to say that this is for two persons and this is for the entire council itself. It is not for one or two persons. So it is just the entire thing has been misconstrued. They are taking out information from it specifically to try to misinform the public. When it comes to the office of the mayor, you have, apart from the allowances, which is what they were highlighting, you have the salaries of the staff, and here we also have expenditure or proposed expenditure for festivities, which falls under the office of the mayor, which we all know that we have national celebrations, different types of celebrations throughout the year to bring the local economy or give a boost to the local economy. So it is part of that as well. So that I just wanted to make that clear so that people know that everything that they're seeing here, it is a proposed amount. It is not actual expenditure.
Mayor Nunez says anyone can access the town council's audit reports from the last 5 years. Road upgrades along Belize's two main highways are meant to improve lives, but for some residents, they're raising new concerns. As construction pushes ahead on the George Price and Phil Golson highways, homeowners say the drains being built outside their properties sit higher than their yards, increasing the risk of flooding. When we put those concerns to Minister Julius Espat, he acknowledged the challenges that come with progress, insisting each complaint is being reviewed case by case.
We go back to the word that everybody seems to make fun of, which is climate resilient. Climate resilient is the IFIs, when they give you the loans, are now insisting that the projects are done within a category that they call climate resilient. Climate resilient is just telling you that the world weather patterns are changing and that the whatever project that is being done needs to be done in a certain way to address that situation as best as you can. In the case of the roads that we're doing, we're putting in more drains, deeper drains. The roads are being done higher because you've seen what happened in the coastal, and so we have to protect the roads. And some of the areas are being done with concrete instead of chip seal or hot mix. We are addressing the issues with the residents one by one. Normally, the complaints are at the initial stages of the project when the roads are going in and the levels are high. And then our engineers, along with our social partners, we have some social engineers that are a component of the project that go out and speak to each individual residents to see how we can. So we will be addressing them one by one.
$65 million is currently being invested in rehabilitating the George Price Highway from Hattieville to Pound Bridge in Belize City. Floodwaters may have torn through sections of the Coastal Plain Highway, but the political storm is now just as intense. As criticism mounts over the project's resilience, Minister of Infrastructure Julius Espat is pushing back, calling the opposition's claim misleading. The UDP argues the highway was compromised despite reported cost savings, but Espat says those savings were real, and he's now laying out exactly how much was saved and where that money went.
That's politics, and you twist the truth to suit their needs, and that's what the opposition is. At no point in time did we say we saved $28 million on the coastal highway. At no point in time. In past interviews that I have done, I think in 2023 or 24, we made note that we had some savings on the coastal based on the contingency. When you have a contract, and there are many factors that are involved in the contract. One is the administrative costs, and two is the cost of the contract itself, the work to be done. You have social issues that you have to deal with. And then you have a warranty that you put in place, which has a cost. And then we put in what we call a contingency factor. The contingency factor is a percentage, a sum of money that's left aside in case during the construction period there is anomalies, there is something that comes up that needs some kind of attention. And then you communicate with the IFIs and you come to an agreement and you use that. In the coastal, there was no need for it because while the construction occurred, there was no problems. And so we requested from the IFIs to use the contingency fund, which had already been part of the loan, to pave the Manatee entrance, the entrance to the village to Manatee and the one to Mullins River. That's where that contingency fund was used.
The Coastal Plain Highway project was officially opened to the public in 2023. Coming up, price gouging complaints surge, and now regulators are stepping in, expanding their reach and tightening the watch on everyday goods.
Celebrate with us at Pelican Beach Resort's Paranda Friday event, held at the end of every month from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Immerse yourself in the rich Garifuna culture with vibrant, soulful rhythms and live entertainment by our very own talented local artists. This June 19th, we present to you our all-white Paranda Friday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. The legendary Martinez brothers reunite on stage after a long time in years, bringing their unmatched talent and energy to an unforgettable night of Paranda music. Reserve a cocktail table for 4 and automatically enter our raffle for a night stay for 2 at our Dangrigo property. Each cocktail table comes with a free rum flight to kick off the evening in style. Special Belizean offer, discounted room rates at $150 Belize per night for 2 guests. Dress in your finest, all white, and be part of a magical evening filled with rhythm, culture, and celebration. Reserve your table today. Limited spots available. A night of music, culture, and community you won't want to miss.
He skipped nights out. Said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle. All for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
at Habet and Brothers Habet. Celebrate your super handy dad with gifts he'll actually use and enjoy super savings all June. Like 15% off all power tools and Stanley hand tools, 20% off Vento PVC windows, 20% off Ascot porcelain tiles and 30% off Piso Forte ceramic tiles, and 40% off Sunlight windows and doors. Plus, stop in at Brothers Habet every Saturday for our veranda clearance blowout. And for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win a power tool every Saturday. Visit Habet and Brothers Habet today and give Dad something worthy of his super handiness. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progreso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about city life, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Insurance fact. Did you know with Home Protector Insurance, home and property insurance does not only cover hurricane and fire? Your lifetime investment will also be protected from explosions, water damage, malicious damage, and more. So you can rest easy knowing your home is protected. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us. They facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that we didn't have in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Shoppers feeling the squeeze at the checkout are no longer the only ones paying attention. Regulators are stepping up too. With complaints of price gouging on the rise, the Supplies Control Unit is ramping up its presence across the country, expanding its team and opening new offices to keep closer watch on essential goods. Now, instead of waiting for reports, the unit is hitting the ground with surprise inspections, aiming to catch violations in real time. Controller of Supplies, Lennox Nicholson, says the more aggressive approach is about one thing: making sure consumers get a fair deal as the cost of living continues to climb.
If we would have waited on reports or complaints from the public to go out there and and conduct inspections, we wouldn't have been conducting a lot of inspections. And I'll tell you why. Because under the previous structure, at the time, there was just a narrow range of goods that we have jurisdiction over. And oftentimes when the public called us and brought things to our attention, we basically had to inform them that it was not under regulation, so we did not have jurisdiction and we could not address it. But a few years ago, the range of goods that we have jurisdiction over was expanded. So we have more access, we have greater responsibility, and we have a greater range of products that we can actually intervene in. So what we need to do is to get the public to start bringing us the information again. But what we decided to do was we do routine inspections. We incorporated it into our schedules, and we basically just go out and do the inspections on a random basis and try to maintain a presence out there. So that has been the approach. So even in instances where the public do not complain, we still make it our responsibility to go out there and maintain a presence and ensure that things are moving the way they should. And with the expansion now, we're in a much better position to do that, because instead of traveling from Belmopan to Orange Walk, we have personnel there. They can operate in that environment and just move to Corozal back and forth as needs be.
Nicholson explains that establishments targeted are based on the number of customers it serves to maximize impact, as well as smaller, less visible establishments where the risk of non-compliance is higher. Sugarcane farmers are closing out a tough season, and not a moment too soon. After months of battling rising costs, erratic weather, and pest problems, industry leaders have officially decided to end the 2026 crop this Sunday. The call came after key players sat down earlier this week to weigh what's left in the fields against what's realistically achievable. For many farmers, the decision signals relief, but also raises new concerns about what comes next.
Less than 6 months after it began, the 2026 sugar crop is already wrapping up. The season will officially close on June 21st, earlier than expected, as both farmers and the mill struggle to keep pace with harvesting and processing delays. Corozal Sugarcane Producers Association Chairman Vladimir Puk says farmers would prefer to meet their full quotas, but the industry must deal with the realities in the fields.
Primarily right now we have the challenge of labor, right? Cane cutters, availability of cane cutters is really an issue, right? For the past 2-3 years we have been battling with that. So also the mill had some issues also during the crop, right? Which is understood, it's a machine, but primarily without that issue, it would be cane cutters.
At the opening of the crop, stakeholders estimated just under 1 million tons of sugarcane delivered. However, Olivia Carballo Avilés, BSI's Cane Farmer Relations Manager, says the amount delivered fell just under the target, with around 815,000 tons.
Currently, we've delivered about 815,000 tons of cane. Unfortunately, that did not meet the production estimate, and farmers are indicating for this week we only had about 32,000, of which about 20 to 25,000 tons could have come out given now the field conditions. We've gotten a lot of rain over the couple of weeks, and so that has complicated field conditions, and of course that brings also implications to how the factory operates. So we sat down this week, and together we made the decision to bring the crop to a close.
At the opening of the 2026 sugarcane crop in January, Prime Minister John Briceño highlighted the industry's major investment plan of $120 million, with $3 million to support farmers.
Talking is cheap. It's about the actions and what you do. The first thing I did was to put the Ministry of Sugar under my responsibility to be able to demonstrate how serious we are about this industry, and then had Dr. Osmond Martinez as the Minister of State, key to be able to deal on a daily basis on some of the issues. To be able then immediately I took on the Commission of Inquiry report and said, okay, let's work with the farmers and the association and the and BSI to be able to come up with a plan.
Farmers say it's not all bad news. Improved cane quality this season means more sugar per ton, thanks to support from the Sugar Industry Research and Development Institute. But Vice Chairman Alfredo Ortega says the job isn't done. Another round of intervention will be key for next year's crop.
If the intervention are not done as we speak, then we will be seeing downfall in quality for the upcoming crop, because we are seeing right now the increase of investigation in different cane fields. So there is material right now, but in reality, the payment that we are getting as farmers doesn't give for farmers to pay right now for the services to spray those materials in the cane field. We are awaiting a program that the government or CIRD is working with CRESAP to see if they can grant that to the farmers.
Farmers are hopeful for a better crop next year, but concerns remain. PUC says pest control isn't improving, with mealybugs hitting fields hard. Yellowing cane and changing weather are making things worse, and mealybugs are just one of several growing threats. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Belize's climate outlook is taking center stage at a critical time as forecasters warn the country could be heading into a challenging season. From farmers to disaster planners, key players gathered today at the National Climate Outlook Forum to get ahead of what's coming. An El Niño pattern expected to bring dry spells, erratic rainfall, and added pressure on already vulnerable sectors. With hurricane risks and the sargassum surge also in the mix, the focus is shifting from prediction to preparedness. Chief Meteorologist Ronald Gordon says the forum is more than just forecasts. It's about getting everyone on the same page and ready to respond.
The main two things are, one, to present them with what the season looked like in terms of rainfall, in terms of the potential for tropical cyclones, in terms of the heat, in terms of whether there'll be drought and rainfall scarcity, and to let them know the forecast, but also to look at the potential impact that will have on their sectors. And certainly we also consult with them to get feedback on what we are doing. So as you may know, we have been doing a lot of projects, a lot of initiatives to enhance, to improve the services we deliver, but we need to consult continuously with our stakeholders to determine whether we are providing them with what they need, what is relevant to them, get their suggestion on how we can improve those services. Of course, we are facing what many persons have referred to as a super El Nino. We don't use that term, of course, but we do expect potentially moderate to strong El Nino to affect us. In fact, the El Nino has been declared, so we have to inform our stakeholders of the consequences of that El Nino, which could mean that you'll have extended dry spells, but certainly it doesn't mean that we won't have excessive rainfall in very short period as we saw last week. And of course, we look at hurricane season. The seasonal prediction, as we have been saying, is calling for less than normal in terms of the total activity. But again, we always remind our stakeholders that it only takes one storm for it to be active. So certainly, those are some of the things that we're looking at.
Officials warn Belize is heading into a heavy 2026 sargassum season, with weekly alerts already flagging coastal impacts and unusually warm Atlantic waters expected to keep the influx going well past August. After the break, putting service and sacrifice into focus. The Coast Guard pauses to honor fathers balancing duty at sea and family at home.
The next station is not just a place. It's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
Look here, your kitchen light there and the vent in the kitchen. Mama going back in there right now. And the coffee maker?
Just to try to keep my coffee warm for later.
What do you do now?
I'll try to think more to eat.
You know, the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You recharge your phone right now? No. Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 socks and 1 shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
This summer, the nation's top young athletes come together for Super Nationals 2026. From June 22nd to June 23rd, Primary School Super Nationals. And from June 29th to July 3rd, High School Super Nationals. 6 districts, 4 sports, 1 stage. Football, basketball, volleyball, kids athletics, and athletics. Belize's future champions competing for pride, glory, and the chance to be seen. This is more than a tournament. This is the future of Belizean sports. Super Nationals 2026, where champions ride.
Belize's Maritime Guardians took time off the front lines today to celebrate something just as important as national security: fatherhood. At Coast Guard headquarters, uniforms gave way to warm smiles and shared moments as the organization honored the men balancing duty at sea with dedication at home. The Father's Day Appreciation Luncheon shined a spotlight on the sacrifices these fathers make, both for country and family. News 5's Shane Williams has the story.
The Belize Coast Guard put fatherhood front and center today. At Coast Guard headquarters, roughly 150 officers and staff came together for a special luncheon celebrating the men who serve their country while staying committed at home. It's a heartfelt nod to the fathers in uniform who juggle duty at sea with raising families on shore, and the Coast Guard is making sure their efforts don't go unnoticed. The event offered a chance for fathers across the organization to step away from their daily responsibilities and enjoy an afternoon of recognition, fellowship, and camaraderie.
The sacrifice that we make as military personnel is significant. It's great. The time spent away from home, away from your family, there are key moments that you miss at times where the regular citizen can enjoy an 8 to 5 job more or less. That's not our time frame. You know, we are always on the go. because of the mandate that we have. So you find that many of our, all of our fathers really spend a lot of time away from home, and so it's those moments, those family moments, whether it's a graduation, whether it's a birthday or a family gathering, we can always be there.
Yet, despite those demands, many continue to play an active role in the lives of their children and families. Organizers say the luncheon is a small gesture aimed at acknowledging the important role fathers play both within the Coast Guard and in their homes.
To be recognized as a father is a great pleasure for me because it's a big responsibility, and apart from that, it's a pleasure to be a father. Well, I am pleasure to be a father of 5 and a husband, lovely wife, and apart from that, like I said, as a leader as well, it's a pleasure for me to be here standing after 25 years of service. To my wife back home and my lovely kids, I love you all, and keep doing what you're doing.
As fathers engaged in friendly competition, shared stories, laughter, and words of encouragement, today's gathering highlighted the Coast Guard's commitment to recognizing the people behind the uniforms and the families who support them every step of the way.
Fathers today, we honor them, we highlight their commitment to duty, we highlight their selfless service, and we also highlight what they bring to the table when it comes to the execution of operations for the safety, security, and naval defense for the country of Belize.
Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Under the afternoon sun, police officers from across Belize stood in formation, not for duty, but for recognition. The ceremony at the Police Training Academy celebrated dedication, discipline, and standout service within the department. It was a moment to honor those who've gone above and beyond the call of duty. News 5's Paul Lopez was there, and here's his report.
Hundreds of police officers stood at attention on the parade square, braving the blistering afternoon heat as they gathered for a moment of recognition. Dressed in full ceremonial uniform, they lined up shoulder to shoulder to be honored for years of dedication, bravery, and service to Belize.
Today is not an ordinary day. It is one of recognition, gratitude, reflection, and pride. It is a day when we, as an institution, pause to recognize the men and women who have given years of faithful service, discipline, and courageous service to the people of Belize. And this cannot be overstated.
Today, we gather not merely to present medals and awards, but to celebrate something far greater, the enduring spirit of service, sacrifice, and commitment that define the very best of policing. In the life of a police officer, there are countless moments that pass unnoticed by the public eye. Moments when courage is chosen over comfort. Moments when duty is placed above personal convenience. Moments when men and women answer a call, step into uncertainty, and stand between ardor and disorder.
The spotlight fell on decades of dedication as officers were recognized for long service, some marking more than 20 years on the force. Others earned recognition for exemplary conduct and staying discipline-free, while some were honored for going above and beyond the call of duty. More than a dozen sergeants also moved up, receiving promotions to inspectors as top officials handed out badges and honors.
Men and women from every district, city, town, and village have dedicated themselves to supporting our national development, protecting communities, safeguarding trade, supporting industries, and creating safe environments that allow our nation to prosper. Throughout the development of Belize, the Belize Police Department has remained an essential pillar of governance and national stability. Today, I simply say thank you for your service. And in addition to recognizing milestones of good conduct and long service, it is equally important to honor those who have distinguished themselves through exceptional performance and devotion to duty.
As the entire field of officers marched off the square, they were met with applause from family members, friends, and colleagues watching on. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, Home Affairs Minister Mira dodges tough questions before abrupt exit. Mark Rodriguez commented, "All of a sudden, he denies having any part in it. But at first, he was the one saying it was false news being spread by the UDP persons. Come on." Turning to Elmer now waits one more day to learn fate. Alfred Williams shared, "That guy took 3 lives and you still need time to decide his fate. What a world we are living in, but not surprised." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.